So there's a Supergirl behind the scenes featurette released with James Gunn and Millie Alcock. James Gunn? Well, what's he doing there? He's not directing. Yeah. So anyway, following the Supergirl trailer released, DC Studios has now dropped a new the director, all that. Jason Momoa even shows up. The promo sells Kara as very different from Superman. Well, yeah, she's a girl and has blonde hair and stuff, and pushes back on any idea that this is some kind of side character movie. Well, it is. She's a derivative character of Superman. That's always going to be the case. But it's her own movie, so pushes back on any idea. Instead, DC is making it clear. This is Kara's story. Well, actually, it's this girl's story as far as the plot of at least the comic book it's based on. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, James Gunn says Kara comes from a much harsher place than Clark Kent. Supergirl was raised on a chunk of a disintegrated planet, Gunn says in the featurette. People were dying all around her. She's not Superman, and she's definitely not Clark Kent. Wow, she's neither one of those. Millie Alcock also addresses what fans should expect from the movie. Supergirl's fueled by this pain, fueled by this hurt, Alcock says. I think people are expecting a sidekick film no, we're not, because they keep telling us all this. You know, even in the Superman movie, she showed up stumbling around drunk, which all this talk about darkness and pain, there's going to be a lot of silliness. And will the serious drama be given a chance to breathe? Well, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, she's kind of in the periphery of his world. But what they're actually going to get is a really kick-ass Supergirl. Because despite the fact that she's nothing like Superman, she's exactly like him when it comes to superpowers. So there you go. That's the kick-ass part. The featurette also includes praise for Alcock from Jason Momoa and director Craig Gillespie. Momoa says she's not afraid to punch everyone in the face. You mean Supergirl? You mean Alcock was literally punching people in the face? Anyway, Gunn adds, Kara is a complete force to be reckoned with. See, they're talking about the character. And also, he adds, Alcock brings this rock and roll vibe to the character. I know, you're going to go through some top 40 list for the soundtrack and all that. Gillespie goes even further and says, Millie is absolutely killing it. She's really inhabited this character in the best way. I couldn't imagine anybody else in this role. Alcock closes out the promo by describing Supergirl as a really empowering story. And what about resilience? She says, you can be your own hero. Well, all right then. Yeah, but I can't fly around in outer space and toss spaceships at people. You know, it's not fair. But anyway, you know, oh God, the rock and roll stuff, and she jumps in the mosh pit and all that, and dresses up like she's Kurt Cobain, and I don't really care for any of that. But that's it's supposed to be Craig Gillespie directing it. But boy, look who looms large in this image, you know. And boy, it's just Supergirl meets Guardians of the Galaxy and everything. It might be okay, despite all that stuff. And the point Gunn's making about Supergirl's beginnings as opposed to Superman's, there's a lot of truth to that. Did you always see it depicted from the good old days of Not really. Not a whole lot. In recent times, it did. This is the first time you've ever seen it. Like, I mean, maybe, yeah, in a movie, sure. But in the comics, even before, you know, with Tom King's story and all that, New 52 did this, where Supergirl really had no relationship with the Earth and didn't really care to. And it was a struggle for her. And then the DC did this animated series of films called the Tomorrowverse. And same thing. And she ended up joining up with the Legion of Superheroes in the future because Superman thought she might do better in that era because it's similar on a technological level to what she's used to from Krypton. And she goes on an adventure there and falls in love, all that type of stuff. And it's probably a better movie than this one will be. But the same idea that, yeah, she has a darker backstory. The other problem is something James Gunn left for them to deal with. My guess is they'll just ignore it, which is stupid. But when he revealed that Jor-El is some weird, I don't know, Krypton supremacist guy, and is this, I guess they'll have to have a one-off dialogue. It's just, yeah, Uncle Jor-El, everyone said he was nuts and had weird ideas. But he was a brilliant scientist, you know. But the rest of Krypton didn't think like that. And I guess they'll have to laugh it off like that. What stupidity, you know? Because otherwise, is Supergirl a little fascist here, you know? And all she cares about is her dog. The rest of you can all go fry. I don't think that'll go over well. If they craft a good enough journey, she's in this dark place. In the comic book version of it, she goes to this planet with a red sun to get drunk because she's very depressed. It's her 21st birthday. And, of course, she's upset because her whole family's gone. And she's, you know, it's sad. And then she goes on this a journey. The story really becomes more, it's narrated by the little girl and everything. So I don't know how much of that stays in place here. But for Supergirl in the dark place she is, if they do this journey where at the end of it, she's beginning to see things Superman's way about, you know, the right thing to do, the honorable intentions and of heroism. And that might actually work. I don't think there's much interest in this. And it's unfortunate for the Supergirl movie to be in this position because of James Gunn's Superman did not seal the deal. And this film is not capable to really make a big breakout moment for the DCU franchise. So that's unfair to it, but it is a situation that it's in. So it's going to be judged in metrics like that. Objectively judging it just on the metrics that it presents with its plot and performances and whatnot. So far, the rumors about the screen tests have not been that great. They're mixed at best. But they tend to say Millie's really good at the role. So I guess that's some amount of hope. The only thing I know her from is House of the Dragon, and she was good in that. So she's a capable actress, I think. But it might not be enough. And there's plenty of capable actors we've seen in different projects, but the material sucked. So it doesn't matter. You're just seeing a good talent wasted. Her initial response to this, you know, for backlash was the absurd rinse, lather, repeat feminist crap. Just don't do that. All you got to do is say, we worked hard on the movie. Hope you like it. Please come and see it. That's it. You know, you don't have to do that crap. It does not work. And don't go full Rachel Zegler. That's a bad move. And talking about women's bodies and everything and all that. David Cornsweet was, you know, ridiculed. His costume was ridiculed and all that. What do you think David Cornsweet had to do? He was too skinny when he was cast. He went to the gym and put himself through hell to get, and then they put him in a trash bag costume that didn't, you know, you just can't win. But that argument of the exploitation of physical attributes of the performer, it's theater, it's movies. These are escapist fantasies. That's why you're being paid the big bucks for it. So it runs hollow. Plus, like I said, it's a rinse, lather, repeat script. They're always performing, even in the promos, you know. But anyway, hopefully it's good. But they keep hitting the rakes in the yard, you know. Don't you know the rake is there? I mean, pick it up and put it in the, you know, the shed or the garage. Jeez.